You think you're in control of your own decisions and you believe that you're immune to influence. But what if your most deeply held beliefs were silently planted there by a hidden hand? Meaning, has someone sold you your thoughts? Every day an invisible war is waged for control of your mind, but it's not fought with bullets, it's fought with narratives, and you're already on the battlefield. By the end of this video, you're gonna rip back the curtain on the hidden history of propaganda, now called public relations. It's this secret machine that shapes your reality, and most importantly, you're gonna forge a shield against its influence. So if you're ready to peel back that layer and to confront the real architects of opinion, then fight back by giving this channel a follow. So look, I was probably once like you were, and being fully transparent, I once bought into the hype as well. You see, I've built a 9-figure revenue company starting from my garage as an American entrepreneur. I'm not naive about the dirty tricks that big corporations use. I've sat in boardrooms and I've been on earning calls. I've heard corporations say the goal wasn't to sell a product, but to engineer an emotion. They wanted to build a perception that's so real, you'd never question it. But once you see the strings, you can never unsee them again. So let's rewind to the beginning. First, there is a man who wrote the manual on mind control. Picture this. A world is reeling from war and it's desperate for truth, but it's also ripe for manipulation. That sounds like today, doesn't it? But this was Edward Bernays' world. Edward Bernays is the godfather of spin. He didn't just invent PR, he weaponized psychology for profit and power. His most infamous stunt was called Torches of Freedom. You see, in 1920s, the women didn't smoke in public. It was taboo to smoke cigarettes. But Ed Bernays hired high society girls to light up cigarettes during the Easter parade, and he called them symbols of liberation. The media devoured it, and overnight, smoking transformed from an addiction into a statement of female empowerment. It was a calculated lie wrapped in an ideal. Here's the lesson, though, that you can apply to your life. Perception isn't just reality, it's a manufactured reality. If they can control that, then they can control the masses. So next time you see a brand aligning itself with any social cause whatsoever, ask yourself, is this a genuine cause or is it Edward Bernays' ghost pulling the strings and trying to manipulate you with something wrapped in an ideal? This is gonna be your first step to seeing the truth when you understand this. So let's rewind to World War I. The US government needed public support for an unpopular war. That sounds familiar with the recent conflicts in Iran, doesn't it? But the Committee on Public Information at the US government, they stepped in. And they didn't just inform, they persuaded, they painted the Germans as monstrous Huns. After the war, these exact techniques were simply repurposed for business. Suddenly, the methods used to sell Liberty bonds were selling toothpaste. Think about that for a second. That's the chilling lesson, that the most effective propaganda techniques are forged in war, and then they're seamlessly transitioned into peacetime. That makes you a target and not a citizen. But having this knowledge equips you to question every so-called truth handed to you. Everything from political ads to product endorsements. It's your built-in BS detector. You see, we live in an age of consent manufacturing. Your thoughts are their factory. Walter Lippmann, another PR pioneer, he openly argued that the average person was too dumb to govern themselves. He believed an elite few should manage public opinion, and he called it manufacturing consent to guide society. Let that sink in for a minute. This isn't some fringe theory. It's been the operational blueprint for decades. Your opinions aren't always your own. They're often the direct result of carefully crafted campaigns that are designed to make you think a certain way. And understanding that means that you stop being a passive recipient of information. You become an active interrogator, able to dissect narratives and form your own independent conclusions. Now, let's cover how this applies to the internet in the age of AI. Think about this. Large language models, or LLMs, they are the technology that powers so much of our digital world right now. And they're pre-trained on the internet's vast ocean of information, including decades of embedded PR and propaganda. This means that the biases, the manufactured consent, the spin from Ed Bernays' era, they're all baked directly into the AI itself. This isn't just about what's in your feed or DMs anymore. This is a dangerous, dark future for autocrats and despots. They can deploy AI that inherently generates narratives or facts that serve their agenda while it appears organic and unbiased. It's the ultimate tool for mass psychological control, and it will shape the world in real time from the inside out as AI continues to pick up speed. But when you're armed with this knowledge, you gain the immediate ability to spot these campaigns online. You question the very source of the information, and you protect your mind from their unseen influence. This is about staying not just one step ahead, but way ahead of the pack. Now I'm gonna expose all of this under what's called the corporate cloak. Think of British Petroleum's Beyond Petroleum propaganda campaign. They launched it after the Deepwater Horizon spill that ruined the environment. Or think about the fast food chains that suddenly promoted healthy options. This isn't about a genuine change of heart. It's about repairing a damaged image. It's about maintaining a social license to operate in society. Corporations spend fortunes on PR, not just to sell you things, but to control their narrative and to ensure that you see them as responsible, ethical entities, even when their actions say the complete opposite. But you can outsmart them when you realize it. Corporate social responsibility is often a meticulously crafted PR strategy. It's a shield to detect criticism and to maintain public favor, not a genuine shift in healthy values. So you're never gonna look at a corporation again when you understand this truth, and you're gonna be able to discern genuine efforts from propaganda. This knowledge will arm you with the power over every single dollar that you spend. So let's talk about the architect of desire one more time. Edward Bernays was the ultimate puppet master, and he was determined to find a way to manage and alter how new urban crowds thought and felt. To do this, he delved into his uncle's theories. His uncle was Sigmund Freud, and he discovered that human decision-making isn't about facts. It's about playing to people's irrational emotions. This is their hidden desires. This insight immediately set him apart. And while others thought that you just hit people with facts and logic, Ed Bernays knew that that was not how the world worked. He saw a gold mine in the hidden subconscious. He thought that that's the true power of public relations, and it hides in manipulating all those irrational drivers of human behavior. You see, it's not about what you think you want. It's about what they make you feel you want. And as you watch this video, keep in mind the deeper game here. It's not about logic, it's about emotion. And understanding this protects you from narratives designed to bypass your rational mind and go straight for your heart. So let's drive this closer home. I want to discuss the birth of the insatiable American consumer. You see, corporations were flush with wartime profits, and they faced a terrifying new fear. That was called overproduction. We were too good at manufacturing and making things at one point in history. So what if people simply had enough? Up until then, most products were sold based on genuine need. Shoes were for walking, cars for transportation. This is all understood easily, but a leading Wall Street banker named Paul Mazur, he wrote that we must shift America from a needs-based desire to one of desires. You see, people need to want new things before the old stuff they bought has even been consumed. He said that we must shape a new mentality in the American public, and that man's desires must overshadow his needs. They didn't just want you to buy things. They wanted you to lust for them. See, these slimy corporations deliberately engineered our transition from a needs-based economy to a desires-based one. And they fueled it by manufacturing longing and programming obsolescence. This explains why you constantly feel a pull towards new and improved products like iPhones, for example. You'll see the subtle conditioning that's designed to make you forever dissatisfied with what you have. This isn't your fault. It's by their design. And it all started with the Hoover Doctrine. He postulated that we should be happiness machines. In other words, a consuming citizen. In 1927, they wrote that a change has come over our democracy, and it's called consumptionism. The American citizen's first importance to his country is now no longer that of a citizen, but of a consumer. And President Hoover, elected in 1928, was the first politician to fully understand this. He told advertisers and PR men that you have to take over the job of creating desire, and you have to transform people into constantly moving happiness machines. He said to turn them into machines which have become the key to economic growth. That's a terrifying new idea of mass democracy. And it was emerging by the all-consuming self. You see, a weak man who was happy and docile, they ensured a stable society. And the government wanted to turn you into a passive flesh machine for their profit. Here's the lesson for all of you out there. The concept of happiness was weaponized, and it equated consumption with contentment to maintain the social stability and endless economic growth of America. Your well-being became a sales metric, and if you look closely, you'll recognize how happiness and freedom are often inextricably tied to spending and acquiring. So this is your chance right now to redefine what true fulfillment means for you outside of their consumerist cage. But it doesn't stop there. The intellectuals and the political thinking elite of the era were terrified by the idea of an irrational, unmanaged public. Walter Lippmann openly argued that if humans were driven by the unconscious, these irrational forces that Sigmund Freud wrote about, then the true self-governance was impossible. What was needed, he said, was a new elite who could manage what he chillingly called the bewildered herd. That's you and me. They saw our capacity for independent thought not as a strength, but as a dangerous liability. And the fear of the irrational herd, as they called it, solidified the belief among these elites that the public needed psychological management, not genuine empowerment or true information. That's obviously sick and twisted, but it reveals the deep-seated distrust that many powerful figures have had over the average person. They have downright disdain, and most of the ruling establishment hates us. All these narratives are designed for control, not nuance, information, or education. But by you sharing this video and waking up, this is how you reclaim your cognitive autonomy. So here's the big myth. You think PR is about telling the truth, and you think it's done in a favorable light to sell stuff in a capitalist society, right? But the dirty history of public relations reveals it's rarely about the truth. It's about managing truth. It's about spinning truth, or even obscuring the truth entirely. The old belief that PR is harmless marketing hype, that's false. The reality is that it's a sophisticated psychological warfare designed to shape your beliefs without you ever realizing you're in the crosshairs. It's not about what is, it's about what they want you to believe it is. This is how you take back your future, though. Imagine moving through the world with new eyes of understanding. You're seeing the news on social media, but instead of passively absorbing it, you're analyzing it, framing it, and asking yourself the Latin phrase, qui bono, or who benefits. Now you see the precise psychological triggers that they're attempting to pull. And your spending habits change because you're no longer swayed by carefully constructed images. Even your political views will become truly your own, not echoes of a media campaign. You're going to become a critical thinker, a master of your own mind, unburdened by the invisible chains of engineered consent. That's the power you unlock today. But before this video ends, remember those torches of freedom that Edward Bernays engineered? What started as a clever PR stunt to sell cigarettes eventually led to millions of lives ending, all contributing to a generation hooked on a deadly product because their perception was engineered in a lab. The dirty history of public relations isn't just about the past. It's about actively shaping your present and your future. So don't let your mind be a battlefield for neurological warfare any longer. Take control of your life. Make the decision to do it now. And if you're ready to reclaim your autonomy, then subscribe to this channel and share this video with someone who needs to hear the truth. And let me know in the comments, what's one piece of PR propaganda that you used to believe but now you see differently? Thanks for watching this video and for being someone who's waking up and becoming conscious. Next week, I'm diving deeper into the hidden psychology of influence and how it's used against us without us even realizing it. And don't let your awakening stop right here. Click the link to my last video, and I'll talk to you soon.